All right, are we seeing a self-inflicted wound here? Because during the election, right, we had a lot of people saying there's a book, we know it's being hidden. Um, Bondi and others said when I get in, when I take office, I'm gonna expose it. And then it was sort of like there is no book, there is no list, there's nothing to expose. He committed suicide.
Right, right. So I think what you're seeing here, and I voted for Trump all three times. I was an OG, 2015 Trump guy. I helped organize the scholars and writers for Trump, Michael Anton, and all those guys. So I'm a diehard Trump guy too. But I'm very annoyed here because it does look like Trump is helping to cover this up. Now, I think what's probably at play. I don't know if he's in the Epstein files or not. It doesn't even really, that's not the issue here. I think what's really going on is somebody probably sat him down and said, hey, basically, most of our government is going to get implicated in this. You're not going to get anything done. It's going to be your entire presidency here defined by going after all these people. We can either do that or we can actually kind of quiet this down and refocus people on the things that you care about, the MAGA agenda, immigration, whatever, you name it. I think that probably is what's at play here. And I think Trump is unfortunately, I think he's being duped into thinking that this is the best way, because it's not. Because I actually think this might be giving cover to many of the same people who did lawfare against him, many of the same people who tried to destroy his first term, many of the same people who are going against him right now in the bureaucracy, who will go against him if they're allowed to continue in their jobs. And so I do think that's what's at play here, though.
Okay, so I did this on my radio show. I'm going to do this here. Sometimes conspiracy theories are just that, and sometimes they're fun. I mean, Epstein didn't hang himself. I know I made a Christmas ornament out
Right.
of the tree. Right? Um, does it become almost self-fulfilling that the conspiracy? Because here's the thing: when that gets when someone says, "I'm just asking questions" or "I'm trying to uncover the truth," right? If you question them, they say, "Well, you're part of it."
Right.
Or you're not willing to open your mind to the Matrix-like conspiracy theory.
Right.
It's like, well, wait a second. I thought we had a saying, question everything.
Yeah.
So is it that maybe this got a little out of hand, that there's some modicums of truth here, but it's not this big international cabal that kind of spiraled out of control? Or do we believe that Trump, Bondi, Patel, Bongino, Gabbard, and Hegseth have all been captured by some electric hellfire club Illuminati?
Well, what I can tell, I can't speak to the wider point. I do agree, conspiracy theories are just conspiracy theories at the end of the day in general. But in the specific case, I have two senior CIA officers retired. One of them being Dr. Michael Scheuer, who just a few days ago was on with me on another program about a different issue, and he blurted out that the Epstein, he knows the Epstein thing was a joint Israeli CIA MI6 operation. It was a blackmail operation. John Kiriakou, who's also a former CIA senior guy, has been running around saying that for the last several weeks on multiple other programs as well. I'm inclined to believe these guys. There's nothing to gain for them to say this so definitively publicly. In fact, it's probably going to hurt them to say this. And so my personal view on this is I agree with you. Conspiracy theories a lot of times don't add up. But in this case, there are a lot of senior people who I trust who are former CIA who are saying, actually, this was a CIA op partly. In fact, Kash Patel said something interesting on the Rogan show when he was saying, don't you think that I would come out and say this knowing who I am if I had evidence? He said that a lot of this, though, was with CIA. And I thought that was a very interesting admission by him because the CIA has been very mum this entire time on this. And so it is possible the FBI and DOJ don't have those files, that they're sitting in the bowels of Langley somewhere. But I will just say,
So what about Ratcliffe? What about Ratcliffe?
yeah, that's a great question. I don't really know what he's doing. I do know that he My understanding is he's not really in control of CIA. They've kind of hermetically sealed him in at the seventh floor, which is what they did to Porter Goss in 2005. And the bureaucracy is doing whatever it wants to do. And this is how it operates. And this is why we call it the deep state. So it is very possible that the evidence has been moved to CIA and it's sitting somewhere in the bowels. And the people who really run CIA, the permanent staffers, are not sharing it with the political appointees.
Well, I wouldn't want to see this bring down Trump's presidency, but we
Nor
also
would
can't
I.
look the other way. If men are raping underage women because they're just sick, and I've said this, I'm going to run out of time. I don't care who's on the list. If it comes out
Right.
and some Republicans go down, well, then they deserve it. That's what you get for being evil.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.